Our question, our title today is going to be math language. We're talking a lot about math language today and really next week as well. What does this equation mean in English? And we're going to be talking about 3 times 4 equals something. So that is your title. What does this equation mean in English? And then you can go down another line and put 3 times 4 equals question mark, because we're going to be talking about that specific equation. How would I read this equation in English? What does that actually mean? 3 times 4 equals something. Devin, what does that actually mean? It actually is talking about 3 groups of 4 is equal or worth something. We're not sure what that something is right now, but it's something. If I were to draw a picture matching that equation, what is something that I could draw? Something that I could draw to match that equation. Victor, what do you think?
Tomatoes.
Okay. How am I going to do that? Am I just going to draw 4 of them? I gotta do something before I can do the 4. Sean, you want to add on to that?
So you put 3 circles.
Why am I putting 3 circles?
Because it says 3 groups of 4.
So here's my 3 groups.
And then you'll put 4 tomatoes on this side.
Sure. So this is one model that a lot of you use. I saw that yesterday when we were doing the task about SeekStop. I like it a lot. Circles and dots, pretty easy. Do you have to put dots in there? Could I put the number in there? Yeah, it would work. Whatever works for you.
You can use tally marks.
Yep. What if I wanted to draw a bar model? How could I make a bar model match 3 groups of 4? What would that look like on a bar model? What do you think, Braden?
Instead of 1 line, there would be 2 lines, and there's 3 spaces with 4 in each spot.
Are you saying I need to break up this bar? Yeah, I need to break up my bar, so instead of having 3 circles, I have 3 squares. That's still my groups. And then I put my 4 on the inside. In this equation, do I know the total amount? Did I know the total amount?
No.
No, I could have figured it out, but it didn't tell me. So I started with a question mark for my goal. I wasn't sure how many total things I had. I just knew I had 3 groups, and each group had 4. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. What kind of story could go with this problem? What kind of story will go with that equation? Will, you ready?
Wait, is it like a story like Richard had 4 grapes?
Sure.
Richard had 4, Richard had 3 groups of 4 grapes.
How are grapes usually grouped? Let's use a different word instead of groups. Okay, so we could say he had 3 bowls. Sure. You said Richard?
Yeah.
Richard has 3.
Do we write that question?
I'm writing that. Oh, no, you don't need to write the question. You can just write the story. Richard has 3 bowls. These bowls are acting like our groups. All right, Will. Richard has 3 bowls.
in 4 grapes already full.
Okay, with 4 grapes in each bowl. Now, Gwen, for this kind of problem, did I know the total number of grapes? What is it? I didn't hear you. No. So could I add a question of how many grapes are there in total?
Yes.
Yeah. How many grapes does Richard have? That'll work. All right, we're going to work on another problem. If you need to draw a line in your notebook, you can go down to the second part of your page, or if you just need to turn the page, that's fine. We're going to go to our next problem. This time it says 5 times 6 equals question mark. Go ahead and write that equation at the top. Nope, you just need to write the equation. You don't need to write the title, just the equation. And then remind me, what does this equation, keep it on my table, please. Thank you. What does this equation mean? Bella, what does that equation mean? It means 5 groups of 6. Is equal to what, Bella? Question mark. Right? Something. Box. Equal to something. We don't know what that something is. We just know that it's equal to something. Yesterday, we saw some other things. We did see a lot of circles and circles and dots, but that wasn't the only model that we saw. Will had a very interesting model. Does anyone remember what Will chose to draw for his model? Because it wasn't circles and dots. Shelby? An array. How would I use an array to solve or to show, 5 groups of 6? Shelby, you want to try? Okay, so I'll make 5 in a column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Yep. Don't forget to count the one you've already drawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that, you're exactly right, Gwen, is just a fast array. Will gave us full arrays, so he made sure that all of his columns and rows were filled in, nice and neatly organized, so I could easily see my rows and my columns. But this is another way to show 5 groups of 6. Here's another model. What could be a story that goes with 5 groups of 6? What could be a story that would match 5 groups of 6? Go for it, Brutum.
Jeremy had 5 toys. Jeremy had 5 action figures.
So pause. What does that number 5 represent? Look back at what we wrote.
Jeremy has 5 boxes of action figures.
So I heard Braden first, he said 5 action figures, and then he changed it to boxes of action figures. Remember, the 5 in this problem is talking about groups. So Braden, when he was making his story, needed to make a group. A box could be groups because you could put things in it. So Jeremy had 5 boxes, there's his groups, of action figures. Sounds like Jeremy's having a yard sale.
With 6 in each box.
Jeremy had 5 boxes of action figures. How about each box had how many action figures, Braden?
6.
6 action figures. Like in this problem, did we know the total number of action figures? Did it tell us? No. We could figure it out, but it didn't say it in our equation. How many total action figures does Jeremy have? Each group, I know I have 7 groups. How many is in each group? Michael?
3.
7 groups of 3 equals something. This equation doesn't tell me what it equals. Yes. That's all. The equation doesn't tell us the answer. That doesn't mean that we can't figure it out. But in this equation, it just doesn't tell us.
Okay.
So far, we've looked at a bar model. We've looked at circles and dots. We've looked at an array.
Number 9.
There's one more that we know that we don't typically draw. We usually just use our fingers for, and that is skip counting. Skip counting can be shown on a number line. If I start at 0, my groups are going to be each of my jumps. So I'm going to jump 7 times on that number line. And the amount that I'm jumping is my other number. So I'm jumping the number 3. If I start at 0 and I jump 3, what's my number that I landed on?
3.
3. I'm going to jump another 3. Where am I at now?
6.
Jump another 3.
9.
I've done 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. Another jump of 3. 12.
Oops, actually.
I need a longer number line. Another group of 3.
15.
Another group of 3.
18.
All right, how many groups have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many groups do I need to go? 7. What's my next one?
21.
So 7 jumps or 7 groups of 3. No, thank you. That is not okay. Not helpful. 7 groups of 3 is worth 21. I thought it was 8. It's just we went 1 less group. We went 6 groups instead of 7 groups.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of story could go with this equation? What kind of story could go with this equation? Go for it, Harper.
Miss Miller has.
I love stories about me.
Miss Miller has 7 tables.
Miss Miller has 7 tables. Tables can be groups. That's a smart. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I think that is a smart thing to do. Tables can be groups. That makes sense. All right, go continue, Harper.
Each table has 3 kids. Correct, yes. 'Cause
Each table has 3 kids sitting at them.
how many-
How many kids are there? Very good, Harper. How many kids